Hey guys, I'm Sarah. I'm one of the authors in the Where Giants Fall fantasy short story anthology. That's a mouthful. And welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a fun tag, which you can probably guess from my rather defaced bookshelf. Hopefully everything stays upright and doesn't fall over. And today I'm doing kind of an obscure little tag. It's called All Kinds of Heroes book tag. It was created by Laura A. Grace. I will leave a link down below to her original video and to her channel. And she created this tag a few years ago, I believe, celebrating heroes in our favorite books. For this prompt, you could probably use some of these prompts for female characters too, but I am choosing male hero characters since it is all kinds of heroes, not all kinds of heroines. So, with that in mind, I moved this book. Yeah, we'll just get into the questions. And the first one is, in the shadows, a quiet hero who is more in the shadows than the spotlight. For this one, I chose a relatively new character that most of these, yeah, I don't know. Some of these are new, some of these are older ones that I've liked for years. And that is, I apologize if I pronounce his name wrong, Kin from Winter, White and Wicked by Shannon Didmore. Sorry about the glare on the cover. It's a very shiny cover. It's K-Y-N. I'm not particularly sure how to pronounce his name, but he's kind of the love interest in this book, and he's just very sweet and very dependable, and he just very much wants to be with his friends and help them out in this rather kind of ice road adventure that they go on. And I just thought he was super sweet, super, not really innocent, but super kind, and he definitely is just very concerned with helping his friends and being in the background, not necessarily in the forefront as a hero. The second question is, I'm no hero. Hero who doesn't acknowledge being one. Okay, I have two for this one. The first is Jace from the Ilion Chronicles by J.L. Knight. I have not actually talked about this series yet on my channel, but it's one of my favorites. It's a Christian non-magical fantasy series, and Jace is one of the primary characters. He's pretty much the main character. He's like one of the main characters, and he is just a tortured soul that I love to death. He is amazing. He's a broken, sweet guy who just wants to do the right thing and be the kind of person that, you know, he just wants to be a good person, but he doesn't really think he can be, and he is amazing, and all the characters in the series are amazing, and I would highly recommend it. And the second book I picked for this prompt is kind of in the same vein, and that is Leith Torin from the Blades of Actar by Tricia Mingrink. The first book is Dare. This is also a Christian non-magical fantasy, and Leith is a assassin at the beginning of the story. He's an assassin for the evil king, and over time that changes, but he is definitely a character who would not call himself a hero. He would be definitely just call himself a villain, especially in this very first book. He would definitely just call himself a villain, and he is very much like Jace. He's just a very broken person looking for a home and a place to belong, and he is wonderful, and I love him. So, question 3 is, Weak in the Knees, a Swoonworthy hero. I haven't read too many books where they're like suave characters. I mean, closest I can think of is action, like I can think more of film characters that are more like this than book characters. But so I just went with a guy that I found attractive in his book, and that is Jake from Angel Eyes. This is a Christian kind of supernatural spiritual warfare series. This is also by Shannon Didmore. She wrote Winter, White and Wicked, but this was her first series. And Jake is he's the love interest / he's also the main male protagonist, because we see his point of view in a couple of books, but I think it's mainly the last one. But anyways, and he is just, I I don't know, the perfect guy. I hate saying that, but yeah, I don't know. He's just really good, really just wants to help people and help them along and help our main girl, Brel, I believe that's how you say her name, here, and he just wants to do the right thing. He wants to follow God and just do what he's been led to do, and yeah, just be a healer to a broken world. And I don't know about you, but I find that very attractive. So, so I guess that would be very swoon-worthy. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? Okay, question 4, hate to love. Hero you disliked in the beginning, but loved by the end. This one was a really hard one. I couldn't think of it, because most characters I do... Typically with most characters, if I don't like the book, or the characters in a book, I will stop reading it. But, that was an interesting case. Feels bent. Whatever. Sorry. I'm just noticing the condition of my book. And that is, let's see. Pronounce his name. Mignol? From the Sophie Snowology by Mary Weber. I'm not 100% sure if that's how you pronounce his name, but I think it is Spanish or it's Cuban. I don't really know, but I'm going with that. In the very beginning, this book is very interesting to start. It's a very kind of wonky beginning for a book, which isn't really like her other books. So I kind of rolled with it first, but Mignol, I don't know, him, the main male character, he's kind of a playboy. He's kind of, you know, at least when we meet him, he's going on about that past that he had where he was a playboy. He's not really one anymore, but when the book starts, but he was one, and he still has a reputation of being one. And I'm not a fan of those characters, so it took me a hot minute to kind of warm up to him and be like, oh, you're not such a bad guy after all, especially in the beginning where it's kind of just, it's slowly revealed over time, these characters and what's going on and stuff. So he was a very slow character that I kind of liked to dislike. Wasn't sure about him at first, but I grew to really like him by the end. So yeah, that one was kind of a hard question to do. Because yeah, typically if I don't like characters, I just stop reading the book. Okay, question 5, inspire to action. Hero who has inspired you to make a difference in the real world. Okay, probably most, if not all, of these characters could fall into this category. So this one was very hard to narrow down to one character, because a lot of characters inspire me to do different things and make changes of the world, but I'm going to go with, okay, yeah, that's his last name, Regulus Hargreaves from the Mercenary and the Mage duology. This is a fantasy series. It's kind of a new adult fantasy series. It's perfectly clean, because I know a lot of people, when they hear new adult, they're thinking, ew, that's gross. No, this is perfectly clean. Regulus is a character I felt very much attuned to, in touch with. He, like myself, he suffers with depression and other things that just, he's had a hard life. People look down on him for being an illegitimate son. Even though he's now a lord, he doesn't really have the respect he wants. And just, he was also a mercenary for a while, and he's just, but he really just wants to help people. And he just really wants to protect people and keep them safe. And I admire that in him, and he has inspired me as a whole. A lot of these characters have, but he has inspired me especially to help people, at least just even from just me talking about this on my channel and stuff, help people kind of, I don't know, understand depression and what it can do more, and just help people around me who might be struggling and just need a friend. Because yeah, he just needed that himself, and I saw the impact in this book of when his friends really did care about him and stuff, and it's just, I want to be like that for someone else who, you know, my own friends and family and stuff, if they need it, I just want to be there. So yes, Regulus has inspired me to be a better person to other people. Okay, And I just hit my elbow wrong, sorry. Question 6 is only one can win. Hero in a love triangle you wanted to win the girl's heart. Okay. I don't like love triangles. If you've known me for like 5 seconds, you probably know that already. I don't read too many books with love triangles. Usually if it has a love triangle in it, I either drop it or I usually just, I don't know, or I just don't read it to begin with. So this one was fairly easy because I only have like 2 series that I know of that I own that have love triangles in them. One of them was The Hunger Games, which technically, yes, I liked Peeta and I wanted, but I wasn't sure if I wanted him to win Katniss's heart because Katniss is a very tricky character for me. So I went with my second option, which is Kai from the Unblemished trilogy by Sarah Ella. And I loved Kai from the very first book. He's just kind of sarcastic, he's funny, he's just an all-round hero, even though he can often come across as the bad guy, so to speak, just because of the airs he puts on and just how he decides to do or not do what might be morally right in a situation. And yes, I love Kai. I've loved him from the very first book, and I definitely wanted him to win Elle's heart. Yes, that did not change throughout the whole series because the other, I don't want to spoil anything, but the other main guy in this series, he was okay in the first book until the end. And then he showed something, and then he said things, and I was just like, nope, I don't like you. I don't like you one bit. You're a manipulative jerk, and I do not like you, and that did not change for the last 2 books either. In fact, he got worse, and I was more justified in my hatred of him. So, Kai definitely wins the love triangle for me. Okay, question 7, Otherworldly. Otherworldly. Okay, that word came out real weird. Okay. Hero who is from another world compared to the main character or side characters. Okay, this is an interesting question because, you know, I could have gone with something weird, like an alien, even though I don't have any books that are aliens. So I'm going with kind of maybe an unconventional answer, and that is I'm going with Ashton from Gilt Hollow by Lori Langdon. This is a thriller, like a suspense thriller, and Ashton is a very different character. The main premise of the book is that Ashton was framed for murdering his best friend when he was 14. Now he's 18 when the book starts, and he has gone back to Gilt Hollow, which is his hometown, as an 18-year-old, he's gone back, he's released from juvie, and he's going back, and he wants revenge on the people who actually did murder his friend because he was framed for it. Yes, Ashton basically grew up in juvie. So he has a very different outlook and way of living and way of just looking at things than other characters. And it was highly fascinating because it's like they had different rules in like how kids were like rewarded and stuff in juvie. And that doesn't really work in the real world. And it was just really chilling, really creepy, and just like how it's amazing he even turned out to be a good guy after all this. It's just totally amazing. And yeah, it definitely gave me a different perspective on that side of the world and just how he basically had to grow up really, really fast. And so yeah, he seemed very out of the world as opposed to the rest of the characters in this book. And I really like this book. I really love this book, and yeah, I would recommend more people read this. This is actually one of this author's least known books, or at least talked about books, and it's a shame because it's really, really good. So yes, question 8 is I'll think about it. Reluctant hero to walk the path asked or required of them. Okay, this one, this character also could have fallen under what was it called? The hate to love, dislike to the being, but I didn't put him in that category because I didn't really dislike him as much as the guy from Sophie Snow, as much as I was just like, what's your deal? So I put him in this category because he is very much a reluctant hero. He very much doesn't want to do it. And that is Logan from the Life After series by Julie Hall. This is a Christian, again, a Christian-like spiritual warfare, supernatural series, and Logan is the love interest and main male character. We don't, yeah, because this is the omnibus of all 4 books, by the way, and we actually get his perspective in a novella that's part of the series, and but in the very beginning, he was kind of grumpy. He was kind of the typical dark, brooding hero in young adult fiction, but I don't know, he always left a sense in me of like, there's more to this guy than he's letting on. But yes, he wants nothing to do with the main character, Audrey. He wants nothing to do with why she's there. He just wants to live his afterlife, basically, away from this drama and stuff, but lo and behold, he does not get that option. So, yeah, but by the time the second book, Warfare, came in, I really actually liked him because he came out of his shell in a way that was just like, it makes sense. He was very kind of reserved and gruff in the very first book, and then the second one, he just was like, he came out more, and he was more of a character, and it was like, I think I kind of get this guy now. And by the third one, and his own novella, which kind of falls in between books 2 and 3, I really, really liked him. So, yes, but I would categorize him as I don't want to be a hero, but oh well, I am one now. So, yes. Question 9 is no danger for you. Hero you want to protect at all costs. Okay, that could be every single one of these. Again, that question falls under everybody, but I have 2 answers for this one, as well as, just 2, as well as like every single other person, all these characters, even the ones on the shelves. It's like, yeah, let's just protect them all, which is kind of ironic since I'm a writer and also hurt my own characters. So, is that hypocritical of me? Probably. Anyways, as for this question, I chose 2 characters. The first one is Zosh from Romanov by Nadine Brandes. He just goes through a lot, and I feel so bad for him, and it's just, yes, he basically goes from Bolshevik soldier to fugitive to on the run to just, oh my goodness, all the characters go through the ringer in this book, but he definitely is one of them that definitely goes through it, and I just want to protect him and wrap him up and take him away from his mean author. Which is hypocritical because of what I do to my own characters. And the second book I want to put in this category is Walter from the Mount Sterling series by Michaela Bush. This is a Christian contemporary kind of a romance. I mean, there's a romance in it, but it's not strictly that. I just call it contemporary. Whatever. We don't need to know that. And Walter is just the sweetest, kindest cinnamon roll character you could ever meet, and I just don't want anything to go wrong for him. He is just adorable, and I love him and must protect him at all costs. I really need to finish this series. I've only read the first book. Yeah. That tells you how much, I don't do ebooks because I have the other 2 on ebook. Have I read them? No. Have I even touched them? No. I'm terrible with ebooks. Anyways, and the 10th and last question is not always kind. Hero who is rough around the edges. Okay, I have two characters, yes. Wow. Okay, I have 2 for this one. They are 2 different characters. They are from 2 different series, and they're both manga series, actually. Originally, I only had 1, but then I read a manga series, and I was like, oh, this character definitely fits this prompt. But we're going to go with my first option, and that is Hawk from Yona of the Dawn. Hawk is an interesting character. He's very, this is him on the cover, by the way, which is why I chose this volume. He's very, how do I put this? He's very, I don't know. I'm not even sure how to describe this guy. He comes off as gruff sometimes. He comes off as sometimes unsensitive, depending on the situation. But he is extremely loyal to his friends. He's extremely loyal to Yona because he is, in these manga series, he is Princess Yona's bodyguard. So he's extremely loyal to her. He's extremely loyal to his friends. He will do anything for them. He, even if it's just teasing them or just being there for them at the right moment or fighting or whatever. But he can often come off as a little bit brash, maybe? I don't know if brash is the right word, but he can come off a little bit insensitive sometimes. He can come off kind of like, yeah, I don't really care, but he really does. So it's like he's got multiple layers to him, and he's just a fascinating character that I really, really love. And he's just, yeah, he's really good and amazing, and I love him. Anyways, I will stop now. The other character I have for this prompt is a new to me character that he's very much like Hawk, and he's also in a manga series, and that is, let's see if I can say his name right. Atsushi Dojo, I believe is how you say his name. He is this guy right here, black hair right here. That is Dojo, is basically, he goes by his last name mostly in the manga, and he falls under the same category as Hawk. He comes off in the first volume as very, very, not loud, but kind of brash, kind of grumpy, kind of constantly yelling at his subordinates, constantly just pushing them, but he's pushing them to be the best. And as the series goes on, you find out more layers to him, more of why he is what he is, why he reacts a certain way to Iku, or Aiku. I'm not sure how you say her name either, but that's our main character. And it's just why he reacts the way he does. And it's just, as the series goes on, he does have a sensitive, kind side. He does care about people. He cares about those he works with. And that's how it comes out. Sometimes he just doesn't come out nicely when he cares. It's just, sometimes it just comes out like he's shy and he just bursts out in anger instead, which I totally get as someone who's an introvert and very shy. Sometimes if I'm just trying to say something, but I'm embarrassed about it, I'll just start yelling instead, which is totally counterproductive, but yeah, I just can't do anything about it. But yes, and so he feels very rough around the edges to me as well. Okay, so that is the tag. I think also she said, I don't have it written down, but I think at the end of the video she said you could, one of the other questions, and the 11th one was probably tag some people, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to tag Oshina from Oshina Gotta Read 'Em All, Celestia from Celestia, Holly from Lovely Day with Holly, Angela R. Watts, and I'm going to also retag Laura. Laura A. Grace. Laura, I'd like to see you do this edition with manga characters now that you primarily do manga. I think it would be really cool if you showed us your favorite manga characters in this tag. So yeah, that was the tag, and also, if you want to do it, but I didn't tag you, feel free to be tagged. And yeah, and let me know in the comments if you do it. You can also do this, I would suggest, on other social media platforms if you want to. I have like a blog post or Instagram or whatever you're on. Yeah, totally use these for that, and let me know in the comments if you do use them. Also, let me know if you've heard of any of these heroes that I mentioned. What would some of your answers be? I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, and I really don't know how to do outros very well. If you watched last week's video, you know I failed at that. So I'm just gonna say thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.